which I like a lot of this list. Snow cone being so low is pretty upsetting in my
Where would you have
opinion.
put snow cone? Where would you put snow cone?
I probably would have overrated it. I probably would, if you said snow cone, I probably would have said like two. I
Really?
love snow cones. I'm a big snow cone proponent. They're so
I
delicious.
mean, listen, man, snow cones are good, but like at the end of the day, a snow cone just tastes like flavored ice.
No, it does. It does. I don't know what it is. I've just always been a fan of snow cones and
They're
ices.
refreshing. They're
They are.
refreshing, man. You need a pick me up. It's hot outside. They're
Yeah.
good. But I'm talking about like flavor wise, like I'm sorry. It's going number 7 for me. I'd
Yeah.
I think I've picked the Choco Taco before that. I haven't even tried it yet. Choco Taco.
See, that's gonna get you in trouble. That's gonna question this friendship right now if you say that again because that's messed up. That's messed up. We're gonna have to talk about that off air because that's kind of crazy.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Two Man Podcast, episode 34. We got a lot of store for you guys today. So, Tyler, kick us off. Let's do it, baby.
Hell yeah, we have a great podcast planned for you guys today. We're gonna start off with a lovely two-man thought of the week. I got a nice question to see where Carl and I kind of land on this side of the controversial topic, and then we're gonna talk about one of our WWE heroes, John Cena, announced he will be retiring at the end of next year. We'll just talk a little bit about that. The All-Star break is about to kick off for the MLB. We'll talk All-Star snubs, home run derby, All-Star game, things like that. And then right before we talk about a little bit about the Olympics, we'll give a little update on Bronny, how life's going for him so far since being drafted to the Lakers and the poor other draft pick who no one's talking about. And then we'll talk about the Olympics itself, mainly the NBA men's basketball team, a little bit about the Olympics as well after that. And then, as always, we'll end with a fun little game.
Let's fucking go, baby. Great job, Tyler. So, Tyler, how about you get us started off with our two-man thought of the week?
Hell yeah. No, the two-man thought of the week kind of comes from a conversation me and Taylor have been having recently. I've been seeing TikToks of like horror stories or some unfortunate situations bride and grooms are being put in. But I just kind of wanted to see how you felt about having kids invited to weddings. And when I say kids, I'm talking, I'll say 10 or maybe like 8 or younger. I'll go 8 or younger just for this conversation. Maybe around 10. I guess it depends how well behaved they are. But, in your future wedding, are you inviting kids to the wedding?
Um, it's that's such a great question because being in the industry,
Exactly.
I have seen both sides of it. I think
Mhm.
the worst thing, no offense to this one particular that I don't think I would have done myself,
Mhm.
was a teacher inviting like their whole class, like an elementary school teacher.
Mhm.
I think having like a class size of children at your wedding
Yeah.
is a tad ridiculous because
Yeah.
it ends up them being their party, you know?
True.
But if it's like a kid that is like, maybe like only like 3 or 4 years old
Mhm.
and it's just like one, I don't see a problem with it there being like maybe one or two. But
Yeah.
like when you get like to like 5 or 6, like I don't know, I think I wouldn't want that many kids at my wedding. So I
Yeah.
would say there would be a limit onto how many I invite, and it would also have to depend on how close I am with them. Like if they're a family member or if they're just like a friend's like child, I don't know
Yeah.
if that they would be invited.
Yeah.
But I think that's my take on it. That's a very good question though,
Yeah. No, it's fair
because
because
it's tough.
yeah, because I've been seeing a bunch of videos, when people explicitly say on the invite, do not invite kids to the wedding. That's their preference.
Yeah.
Don't invite any kids. And then there's been times, these people were telling their stories saying, we've said no kids, we've sent out the RSVPs, and they've sent them back writing their kid's name on the bottom, like writing it in themselves. Or, and they've had tough conversations like saying, oh, well, I just had a newborn. Like, what am I going to do? And they're like, I've given you months to figure it out. Like, get a
Yeah.
babysitter, do this. Even the one I never really get either is like when you hire a babysitter and the babysitter hangs out with your kid like up in the bridal suite. It's like
Oh
why
my
it's like
God, I
why wouldn't
hate
you just have the
those.
babysitter at home? Why would you
Yeah.
bring them also to the wedding and do that? That's why I feel like I don't want really any kids at the wedding, depending how young. Like they have to be like maybe 10 or older, honestly. Maybe even older, like 15.
Yeah, again, like it would depend. I think it depends on the scenario. I
Yeah,
personally, and like it depends on how many you have, because if it ends up becoming a kid's party on your wedding day,
fair.
then that's when I feel like it ends up, crossing the line of
Yeah,
having too many kids. Like for example, there was a problem with my family where one of my cousins didn't want to have her like have one of our newborns walk down down the aisle, not like newborns, but like new family member.
sure.
He was probably like 2 or 3 years old at the time. And
Hmm.
then she was like, yeah, like I don't want any kids, but she changed her mind because she realized that like they haven't met the kid yet, it
Hmm.
would be a good time for the family to all meet the kid. And then
Yeah.
also like he was gonna end up being the ring bearer in like the ceremony. So it's like you can't
Hmm.
not invite him after having him part of your ceremony.
Yeah,
So like
that's fair.
I think he was like the only kid that was invited.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like there's a fine line that you
Hmm.
do once you get to that situation, because you could lose friendships over it. Because like
Oh, oh
that
yeah.
example you just brought up about like somebody's newborn child like trying to figure out what they're gonna do like
Yeah.
with them. Like for some people, like they just don't think of any other way of having them like somebody else watch their kid, which
Yeah.
deservedly so. Like you're gonna parent how you're gonna parent, you
Obviously,
know?
yeah.
So it's tough. You could lose friendships over it. And I think it's going to be definitely interesting to see as we get older and more of our friends get married and have
Hmm.
weddings to
Yeah.
see how that happens.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because I also just feel bad, not even if the kid's misbehaving, because, I was watching videos where the kid was not being well watched by the parent, and they were running in the background of pictures, ruining pictures. They ran down the aisle during like ceremonies, and then there was kids who got stuff on the bride's wedding dress, you know? So like things
That's a
things
no-no.
like that would like push me over the edge if like I said no kids, but not even if a kid misbehaves, like not even from that standpoint. But I always feel bad for the parents too, because there's been so many times at weddings where you get to the part where there's a slow dance, or you can dance, or you can drink a little bit, and maybe the parents don't want to, but everyone's up slow dancing, having a nice slow moment with their significant other, and they're having to sit there, you know, watching their kid, making sure the kid doesn't draw on the table or run away or something. So I feel bad in that aspect when they can't enjoy the whole wedding because they have to watch their kid. So
Exactly. Yeah.
that part always stinks.
No, and especially too, like for new parents or like, um, who have kids and like they bring their kids. Like this is like weddings are a reason to like get out of the house, kind of have some time for yourself,
Yeah.
like with you and your significant other. And then if they end up coming to the wedding, it's honestly kind of a blessing sometimes to those parents that don't have a break to find a babysitter and like be able to go out for the night, because sometimes they don't get the chance for that.
Yeah,
So
it's a good excuse, exactly. Instead of just saying we're going out to dinner, or you got a wedding
yeah,
to attend, so you have to get a babysitter.
I I don't know how you feel about this, just like weddings, like kind of on the same topic that helps that is I was working a bridal shower the other day, and the bride and groom of the I guess the honoree that was there for the bridal shower.
Hmm.
Her and her husband had just gotten married the day before the bridal shower. So they like got married legally like in a church,
Oh,
and then
okay.
they're having their reception, and I was like, "Oh, like where are you going to have your reception?" They're like, "Oh, we're having it next month. It's going to be in Punta Cana." I'm
Oh my
like,
God.
"That's fucking sick."
Yeah,
And they're like, "Yeah, so like we like I was like, "Wait, that's such a smart idea." They're like, "Yeah, because only like 80 people are coming."
yeah.
So it's gonna be like an intimate thing with like their best friends and family that they
Hmm.
like want to see there. They're like, we invited 240 people,
Yeah,
but we knew not all 240 people are
yeah,
gonna go.
yeah,
So now we, get out of the situation of not inviting people
yeah,
because they just said no because they're not gonna spend the money to go down there.
yeah. No,
So
it's
I
it's
was
a
like,
good loophole.
that's such a good loophole. You make a destination wedding, you
Hmm.
invite the people that you need to invite.
Yeah,
Obviously, those people aren't all going to go. You may have maybe one or two groups of people end up saying yes,
yeah.
but like
Obviously.
majority of the people that are going to be going down there are the people that actually like, care about you and like you're going to like see for the rest of your life. So makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. I've heard about that before too, because obviously weddings are expensive, and
Yeah.
deciding who you want there and who you don't want there. Sometimes people want you to invite someone you haven't seen in 4 years to a wedding, and it's like,
Oh
am I gonna
yeah.
pay $100 a head for this person? So the easiest way is just to have a destination wedding. If you want to shell out the money to come, feel free to pull up. But if not, it's all right. We can celebrate some other time. But then you
No,
get to enjoy.
exactly.
It is a good point. It is a good point. Weddings are definitely a tough thing that I'm not looking forward to having to deal with the planning of it. But everything else that comes along with it will be fun. But the
Well,
planning will not
unfortunately
be
for
fun.
you, buddy old pal, you are in a long-term relationship, so that's something you have to think about more uh sooner than I would. So,
Yes,
good luck.
exactly. So you're gonna have to help me out.
You got it, man. I got you. I got some connects. No problem.
Awesome. I definitely will appreciate that come game time.
Come game time, I'm dead.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that was just my quick thought of the week. Just wanted to see where you
It's a
stood on
good
it,
thought.
especially being in the business.
It's a good
But we'll
thought.
we'll switch over to our next topic. We did just talk about kids, and kind of going off that is something when we were a kid. One of our
Oh,
WWE
good job.
heroes was John Cena, and John Cena the other day at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view came out and announced that next year will be his final year of wrestling. Come December 2025, he's gonna hang up the jorts. He's going to hang up the sneaks, and he's going to be done wrestling full time. So, what was your initial thoughts when you heard that?
I was a little bit shocked, but like
Mm-hmm.
not too shocked because I did see an interview recently, like right before WrestleMania, like him talking that he had like one more good run
Mm-hmm.
coming in him in the WWE. I didn't think that was supposedly going to mean like full blown retirement
Yeah.
because there was a lot of different reports because they didn't like he like came out and he said that 2025 like WrestleMania was going to be his last WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So people were thinking that that meant that was going to be his last like
Match.
match was
Yeah.
going to be at WrestleMania, but he said that he's going to be doing something different in his conference after, where it's going to
Yeah.
be like 30 to 40 matches in the
Mm-hmm.
span of like from December of this year till like December of next year.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of different times we'll see John Cena. Probably within that we'll probably get a bunch of different maybe storylines to kind of cap off his career.
Mm-hmm.
Um my initial reaction, I was pretty sad because like I think for us specifically, like growing up, he's been in the WWE for over 2 decades. Like we're
Yeah.
both, 24, 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of us watching, that sport and coming to love has been through John Cena.
Yeah.
Um, so it was definitely sad, but I think it's gonna end up being cool to
Yeah.
finally see. And then, my thing on the other side is, people may say they're retired. You never know what happens after five
Yeah.
years or
Yeah.
so. I think my funniest thing about the whole thing was CM Punk's interview right after John Cena's. He
Yeah.
said he's like, yeah, I was kind of sad to hear him say that, but he's like, I'm gonna be the motherfucker in 15 years that ends up bringing him back out of retirement for like one more match.
Oh yeah.
Um, I think it was really cool too. He did also state, I don't know if you saw that he said that when he's done, there like he proposed like a plan to the WWE about like doing this like farewell tour.
Mm-hmm.
And then after he's gonna have like a role in the WWE, if
Oh
that be like
nice.
a guest like a commentator from time to time,
Yeah.
or if that be he's gonna like kind of be in a leadership role, kind of like how Triple H is.
Yeah.
So I think he proposed something to TKO as a whole. So he might maybe he becomes part of the board like The Rock is, or um, maybe he gets some sort of other limited role like in player development or something like that. I could see them
Mm-hmm.
doing that.
Yeah, no,
But
exactly. I mean, because he's been doing it for so long, he's been so great, not just the product he does in the ring, but being able to cut promos on the mic and being
yeah,
able to just kind of, do stuff with the community of the events they put on every single week for, like you said, 20 plus years. Now you see him in movies and other things as well. So he's definitely doing something right, and he's definitely popular.
yeah, he's funny too, man. Like in the movies
Yeah.
he's in, he's funny as hell. He's
No,
he's a
exactly.
fun time.
He definitely has a nice backup plan once he's done. But yeah, when I first saw the news, um, I definitely thought it's obviously someone who deserves to have his farewell tour, instead of having him come out tomorrow and say like, yeah, no, I'm never wrestling again, and then just always, people thinking he's coming back, instead of people having to theorize if he's going to come back, he just kind of says, listen, for 1 year, I'm doing 30, 40 matches. I'm going to, be at these pay-per-view events. And, people can kind of enjoy if they're going to the events live or watching on TV and saying like, hey, this is the last time I might see him in person. Wrestle,
Yeah.
it's going to get people to go to more events. And yeah, no one really deserves it more because he really had the whole company on his shoulders for so long. Every time you just hear his music hit, you get nothing but excited. But yeah,
For
it's
like 15, 20 years, man. I feel like he just like carried the industry.
exactly. And I do agree. I think you never know if they're going to come back again. I don't think he'll have like another long-term run again after this. I believe that. But I mean, look at The Rock. The Rock just came
Yeah.
back for the final boss. I know The Undertaker always makes his appearance here and there. He just made his appearance at WrestleMania again. So I think Cena will make an appearance once again, but in a limited role. But
I agree with that one.
yeah, it's
I
gonna be
thought it was
sad.
I thought it was really funny what he said. One of the you mentioned his jorts.
Yeah.
One of the media people asked him a question and was like, "So will the jorts be hung up as well one year?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, man, the jorts will be hung up." He's like, just when they were coming back in style. I was crying, dude. I was like, that is so freaking
Yeah,
funny.
that's the best part is you've seen so many wrestlers like try to get into movies. Like, obviously Batista has a few different roles.
Yeah.
A lot of guys have taken breaks from WWE for an extended period of time just to shoot movies, and you never know how it's gonna go. Batista's doing great with it. The Rock did good with it and stuff, and still doing great with it. But Cena, you didn't know how it was gonna go, but now I see him everywhere. Me and Taylor were literally watching Wipeout last night, and he's the host of one of the hosts
Here's
of
the
Wipeout,
That's
and it's just
hilarious. I
like
didn't even know that.
yeah, he's one of the hosts of Wipeout, and I was telling Taylor, I'm like, so weird to see him with a full head of hair, a suit.
Yeah.
So used to him, with a buzz cut, jorts. Um,
Jorts, fucking big chain,
exactly,
bandana,
big chain. He would always have wristbands on, and I remember,
baseball
I think it
cap.
was The
Yeah.
Rock once. He would have, he had a headband as a armband on his bicep,
Yes.
and he took it off, and you're like, this is a headband. Like this is crazy how just jacked he is as a
Jacked
human.
he is.
Yeah.
He's a fucking man. He's the man.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be fun and sad. Honestly, it's going to make me tune in a little bit more. I know you've been watching more. I've kind of just been paying attention online, but once his run starts again, I'm definitely going to be tuning in more frequently.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think I definitely have been kind of locked in. Like me and Joey watched Money in the Bank the other night because we were
Yeah.
interested to see like what was going to happen. I also think that's always one of my favorite, pay-per-views too
Hmm.
because they get to climb the ladder to try and take off the briefcase. I think it's just a very interesting like concept of a
Yeah,
of a
always.
of a fight.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to ask you what kind of storylines you want to see,
Mm.
like moving forward. I know that right now he's tied for his 16th championship.
Yeah.
Um, to me, I think he's going to try and,
Hmm.
become the greatest of all time,
Yeah.
finally surpass Ric Flair,
Hmm.
and then get that, 17th championship. Do you think he's gonna do it? Is there a storyline you would like to see? Is there a storyline you think that I'm not thinking about, or like that we might end up seeing? What is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm not as creative, but I've been trying to think, kind of how I want it to happen because I would love to, I want him to get that 17th world championship. I want him to break the record as iconic as Ric Flair was and still is. I want him to be able to capture that 17th title, instead of having a tie. And I'm trying to think, who I want him to take it from and who I want him to maybe relinquish it to at the end. Because, I don't want him to lose his last match ever, and then
Yeah,
lose the title, say, come next November or December. But I think it would be really cool just in the end to just have matches against, some old friends. Randy Orton is still around. I would love to see him fight Randy Orton. I would love to see him fight CM Punk.
I would love CM
Um,
Punk. That's the one I
yeah,
really want to see.
exactly. I'm not as creative, but I definitely want to see him maybe at WrestleMania maybe win the Rumble, at WrestleMania, win the title, and then have it for a few months, lose, and then like have one more farewell match that he wins without the title. You know?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting because some of the things he brought up, like when he was in the ring, he brought up the Rumble, he brought up Elimination Chamber, and he
Exactly.
brought up WrestleMania. So I think he's either gonna win, he's gonna be in the Rumble. I think he might be
Hmm.
one of the last two in the Rumble, and I
Hmm.
think he might lose.
Hmm.
And then I think he might win an Elimination Chamber, and then he's gonna win at WrestleMania. I think
Yeah.
he's gonna. I personally think he'll probably beat Cody Rhodes, and then he'll have like a Cody Rhodes arc, and
Yeah.
then he'll lose it to Rhodes again because I think Rhodes is gonna be kind of like the guy who is always in the mix for the championship ever since he became so popular now. He's like the face right now
Yeah. That's fair.
of the WWE. So him not having the belt would be kind of um a tough I guess marketing ploy for them.
That's fair. That's
But
fair.
Joey brought up a really good point is that the only championship he has never won is the Intercontinental Championship.
Oh shit.
I could be wrong about that, but Joey I think told me that that's the only championship he has not won.
You know what's crazy is I think that's the same thing for like Randy Orton too.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Or I think Randy Orton might be the United States
Oh,
Championship.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think those are like the only championship he hasn't won yet.
Hmm.
So if he ends up winning, it would be cool to see him maybe like have a small run as the Internet Continental Champion, pass that off,
Yeah.
and then maybe go for the big one. Because I don't know if those count as like a
I
17th champion. I think
I
it's only
I
world
I think it's
championships.
World Championship. So I would honestly be cool with, yeah, one of the first things he did was have like a 1 to 2 month run with the Intercontinental, make him the Grand Slam, and then go
Yeah.
out, lose it, and then go say, hey, I'm going for a bigger championship. I want the World Heavyweight Championship. I think that would be pretty
Yeah.
cool. I think it's a
That'd
way
be
to do
cool.
it, and I'm interested to see how it goes. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
it.
My dark horse storyline I think he might have will be with Logan Paul.
That'd
Just
be a cool one.
because Logan Paul is just he's just one of those guys I feel like he'll sneak his way in there and get a storyline with him.
He could. They're both good on. Logan Paul's been good on the mic. He's been good in the ring. So he always finds his
Yeah,
way into those big matches, and I think it would be good both marketing for those two guys.
I think so too. I think it's just gonna be interesting to see what they do overall with the man we can't see. So
Exactly. I will be interested for sure and keeping a close eye.
yeah, I'm gonna be buying myself a pair of jorts and
Watching every night.
yep. But speaking of all-time players, let's talk about some all-stars from our MLB team, one of our favorite sports to watch, Tyler.
Fire.
Um, so first off, let's just talk about how it's going to be in Texas. I feel like that's a cool place. It's going to be
Hmm.
in Arlington. After the Texas Rangers just winning the World Series, now
Yeah.
they're hosting the All-Star game the year after, which that doesn't really happen. So it's going to
No.
be kind of cool to see for just fans of Texas to kind of see that. And also that ballpark is brand new.
Yeah.
So good for them on getting that. And I'm pretty sure they have like a really like kind of how like New York has like the low fence. They have like a jet stream out and like
Yeah.
going out to right field. And I'm excited to see how the home run derby is there because that's
Hmm.
I think in my opinion the best all-star like sporting event in all of sports. I don't think
Yeah.
that there's a better all-star like mini game, I guess you would say,
Yeah.
better. I would say like back in the day, the dunk contest probably could have topped it,
Yeah.
but recently like no stars do it. But like I don't know if you probably may know who's in it better than I am this year, but
Mm.
we got like the best of the best right now and in the home run derby.
Do you think
Got
so? I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty lackluster this home run derby this year. I think it's
I
pretty
don't
boring.
I don't think home run hitters, but I would say
Oh,
the top players right now, I would say are like in the home run derby. You got Gunnar Henderson lighting the world on fire.
true.
You got Bobby Wood Jr., who's arguably the best shortstop in baseball.
Yeah, that's fair.
You
There is some star
you
power.
you have Jose Ramirez, who's like one of the top 5 players in the past 5 years.
Yeah,
He's always up there for MVP.
true.
As much as like these guys aren't like your big name like home run hitters, I
Yeah,
think that like you at least have known guys in the home run derby. You
That's
know,
fair.
like as opposed to like the dunk contest, there's G League players playing, like in the dunk contest. Like at least this is like either somebody's like favorite player
Yeah.
or they are having a great year. Like Alec Boehm, I wouldn't say he's like somebody's favorite player,
Yeah.
but Alec Boehm was like the first one to announce he was going to do it. He's having a crazy year for Philly. That Philly team is just unreal.
Yeah.
Anybody who would have wanted to do it would have, been a good pick. I don't know, but I also agree with your point is that apparently a lot of people are upset that not bigger names are doing it.
Yeah, I'm just always bitter about that because I mean, we grew up with the Prince Fielders, Albert Pujols, Josh
Hmm.
Hamiltons, Miguel Cabreras, like the premier home run hitters competing in it. But I understand why a lot of them aren't because, I think over the years you have just seen so many guys who have won the home run derby or even competed in it. Their stats have just gone down in the second half. Some
Yeah.
guys are the opposite. They have a better second half, but
Yep. Like Pete Alonso.
like Pete Alonso, but most of the time, I feel like their numbers just go down. And especially because for the All-Star week, like it's your break in the season to relax. I think the last thing you want to do is exert so much energy just hitting home runs when you don't have to.
Yeah.
So I do, the field, the 8 guys that are in it this year could be exciting. But again, I'm just always bitter about it. I get people say no, but I'll be watching. I'll be
Do
watching for
they
sure.
do they name who the last three were gonna be?
Yeah, they
Because
they have they said Teoscar Hernandez is going to be in there.
ooh,
Adolis
okay.
Garcia, and I think he said everyone but one. Alec
Yeah, because
Bohm.
I knew it was Henderson, Bohm, Alonso, um, Bobby Witt,
Yeah.
Ramirez. Those were the five that I knew. And then you just said
Te, Te,
Garcia,
yeah, Adolis
Teoscar.
Teoscar, and I can't remember who that 8th guy is,
Who
but
is that eighth guy?
that's gonna stink. But I'll look it up real quick. But yeah, no, because I just miss those times. But like, and even just Pete, I think we'll kind of go into our All Star discussion here. But I really think the only reason Pete Alonso made the All Star team is so he can be in the home run derby. Personally.
I personally agree with you because he said that he wasn't going to do it if he wasn't an all-star. He like came out and said that, and I think it kind of forced MLB's hand because they're like more people are going to watch the home run derby if Pete Alonso is in it because he's a
Hmm.
two-time champion. He is the only one that actually probably takes this thing seriously. He's like praying downstairs. He's
Yeah.
meditating before he goes out and
Yeah.
starts hitting home runs. As much as I love the guy, I personally don't think he should have been
Hmm.
an all-star this year. But I understand why he was, and I will kind of to those people saying that they don't think he should have been an all-star, I'll kind of rebuttal it. Um, at the end of the day, when they make the all-star roster, it should not be by position like what they need. I think it should be the best players.
Hmm.
I don't think it necessarily should be, okay, we need a need on this all-star team to add a first baseman.
Hmm.
So let's add a first baseman. And that's what ended up happening.
Yeah.
They should have been like, okay, if we like needed another infielder, we should have picked another infielder, not say another first baseman.
No, that's fair.
Um, but I think that's what ended up happening. I think they were looking at the potential candidates that first of all, you need to have one player for each team you know, to represent the team in the
Hmm.
All-Star game.
Yeah.
So like the Mets needed a player. They were short on first baseman in the National League side. So it was
No, it's
kind of
fair.
those reasonings why Pete got picked. He um doesn't have the worst numbers in the world.
No.
He's hitting like 240 right now with like 18 home runs and like 40 something RBIs.
Yeah.
Which at the end of the day, like for probably anybody else, those would be really solid numbers. Like,
Hmm.
but for somebody like Pete, who has, you know, broken the National League home run hitting record and has done all these things, it was kind of tough to put him in there when you have two guys on his team having better seasons than him. You have
Yeah.
Francisco Lindor and Brandon Nimmo, who didn't get picked to the All-Star game, who arguably are having better seasons than them. Not arguably, they are.
They are.
They're
Yeah.
just simply having better seasons than them. But
No,
I don't know.
that's a fair point. I think it was definitely a combination of They needed someone for the home run derby because I think so many guys just continuously say no year after year.
Yep.
And, him being a, two-time champion, looking for a third, it definitely brings the storyline in and what, like I said, maybe other people also consider a pretty lackluster home run derby class in terms of home run hitters. So I think that will bring it. But yeah, no, it not having Lindor and or Nimmo in the All-Star game was just criminal to begin with. And then just to put it on top, they needed another infielder. They needed the first baseman. So they put Pete in there for kind of both. So it is interesting, but at the end of the day, there's always substitutions, reserves. I think hopefully people will find their way in there because,
I'm hoping Lindor, just as a Met fan, I'm hoping Lindor and Nimmo do because I was looking at it. There's really like, I mean, I might be wrong. You could prove me wrong after this. Out
mm,
of everybody who got named, I think everybody deserved to be on the team this year.
yeah,
Um, and I don't think there was any specific player that I'm thinking more than Nimmo and Lindor that got snubbed the
yeah,
way that they did. In years past, there's been players that get snubbed, and it's
all
like
the
there's like a
time.
5 or 6 player list
Yeah,
usually that people get snubbed. And
yeah,
then, like, granted, before the All-Star game, they probably end up getting picked up because of injury or whatever.
yeah,
But Lindor and Nimmo have like WAR statistics and like OPS, like
yeah.
they're like top 10 in the National League in like every single category, like hitting
Mhm.
wise, and they didn't get picked. And like I saw one for like Lindor, he's like ranked fourth in WAR, and the other top 10 players that are on there are all-stars. He's the
Yeah.
only one that's in the top 10 that isn't an all-star.
No, I know that's what's crazy too. Is like it's not even just us being biased. It's just those two are playing at one of the best levels in their careers right now, right
Yeah.
before the All Star game, and neither one of them getting selected is kind of crazy. Especially Lindor. Just I know Nimmo's pretty underrated, but Lindor year after year just being so looked over at the shortstop position is kind of crazy because
I
he puts up the same
yeah,
numbers year after year.
I
Um,
personally blame Mets fans.
you could.
And I'm part of the problem because I think if you go back a couple episodes, you'll see us shit talking Francisco
Oh
Lindor.
yeah, 100%, 100%.
So I think we're 100% the problem in that. I think he was still on the Guardians, like if he was still in Cleveland, he would have probably a better chance of making the All-Star game because they don't got guys like us shitting on him.
Yeah. Oh, true.
Being in New York is like tough because you're under a microscope, and especially the contract he signed with New York. A lot of people are like, all right, you're supposed to be our Lord and Savior, and you're not playing the way you are. And just because he has a bad April, he even said it. He was like, I would have loved to have made it, but I guess I got to do better in April because that's really the thing. Like he
It's
had such
fair.
a terrible April. He's batting like over 300 since
Yeah.
May. Like since
Yeah.
like May 1st, he's batting over 300. But because he batted like an abysmal like 105 in the
Yeah.
month of April,
It's tough to
his
come back from
average is
that.
at his average is at 250,
Yeah.
which like the fact that his average is back to 250 after having such a terrible April is a godsend. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna probably end up probably at the end of the year. I would say he's on pace for probably batting 260, which is like right around like a couple of points from like where his like normal,
Yeah.
thing is.
Hmm.
So I think he should be an all-star. He's like I went to the game Tuesday night. He went 3 for 4, 2 singles, 4 RBIs, a
Yeah.
home run.
Yeah.
Like and he even walked. He got on base 4 times.
And his
And
defense
like
is good too.
his defense is like the top out of all shortstop
Yeah.
statistics. You know, I think we got to put more respect onto him. I think he's gonna end up making the game because
Hmm.
Mookie Betts is hurt, so they
Yeah.
need to replace him with one other person,
Yeah.
and I can't see them replacing it with anybody else.
Yeah.
I think it would be crazy. Uh, but I also saw that they've already started replacing people who got hurt. Like they replaced Tyler Glass now. Like the day that they found out he was going on the IL, he got
Yeah.
replaced.
Yeah.
So I'm
No.
like, what's the wait? Why is Lindor not going there?
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly think Lindor and Nimmo will both make it. One, Lindor for Betts and Tatis is hurt too. So I think Nimmo will make the outfield for Tatis
Yeah.
because it's not even like we're just talking about it as Mets fans. I mean, I see it all over national media. Guys who have no affiliation to any team are saying, "How is Nimmo not an All-Star? How is Lindor not an All-Star?"
Yeah, I like, and that's what I think too. I think Nimmo has a better case to be
Yeah,
an all-star because Um, I feel like the National League outfield is a little bit like there isn't as many top guys as
Hmm.
there is like there's at shortstop, in overall.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. But I think they're both gonna end up doing it. And I'm surprised Nimmo isn't because it's not like Mets fans are hitting on Nimmo. Mets fans are like, we fucking love
Love
Nimmo.
Nimmo. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been underrated since he's been a Met. Honestly,
Yeah.
he does
He's
it all.
he's had a very consistent year. Like he's been hitting under his normal like batting average
Yeah.
this year, but he's been hitting for more power. He's been coming up
Hmm.
clutch. Like
Yeah.
I remember he had a huge hit on Mother's Day, which was back in like, early May or
Yeah.
right? What's Mother's Day? May?
I think it's May.
Yeah, so he had like a huge hit on Mother's Day. I remember I was like, "Oh, damn, he's like super clutch." He has another super big hit in June for
Yeah.
Father's Day.
Yeah.
He's on a 3 home run game hitting streak right now. He's
Yeah.
hit 3 home runs in this past 3 games. I've never seen this many home runs come off of the bat of Brandon Noah in my life. It's
Yeah.
crazy. He's hitting for power. He's on pace for over 100 RBIs, like the most in his career. This guy deserves to be an all-star. And I was just saying because I'm a Mets fan. I mean, let's go Mets.
Yeah.
But come
No,
on.
I agree. Those two guys should definitely be in there, especially the character of Lindor would be great for someone to be mic'd up during the All-Star weekend. I know
Oh
they're all
yeah.
big on the media and talking to guys during the game, after the game on the red carpet. I mean, some of these guys are pretty boring. They don't
Yeah,
have
that's what
big
I'm saying.
personalities like Lindor. So I think you have to get
Also,
those guys out there.
who smiles more than Francisco Lindor and
Nobody,
Brandon Nimmo?
nobody,
You need to put him
no.
out there.
You have to get both of those guys out there to show how fun the game is.
Yeah. It's bullshit, man.
Yeah,
I'll put
I
him
don't
in.
know. Hopefully,
Put
hopefully
him
by
in.
the time this episode drops, something has changed. I mean, the All Star game and home run derby is what, next week? 2 weeks? 16th
Yeah.
maybe?
No, it
16th,
starts Monday.
17th? Is it this
The
Monday?
home run derby starts this Monday.
Is it
So
really?
after
Oh
this
wow.
episode drops, home run derby's the following Monday.
Oh, so
So
so they really should announce those replacements soon because those guys have to realize what they're doing, or if they're planning vacations for that week.
yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. I hope
You
they
think
get
people
in. I
you
think they'll
think
get
people
in.
actually go on vacation for like a short trip? You think
Yeah.
that actually happens?
Well, you got a week off.
It's not
I
like a full week though. They get like 4 days.
I mean, depends when your last game is. I know. I've seen videos of like guys in the NHL who have, been called in by their boss or like their coach or GM, and they've been like, "Oh, hey, congratulations, you've been named as an All-Star reserve or something," and they're like, "Oh, I better cancel my Airbnb. I better cancel my trip to so and so because
That's
like."
so funny, dude. I didn't know
People
that.
people plan trips because they're like, I'm not going to be an all-star.
Yeah.
So I mean I don't really blame them. So yeah,
That's
I don't know.
crazy.
Yeah, I hope they make it. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, man. But speaking of people who have also been overlooked, to go on to our next thing. Um, before we go into our Olympics topics, I would like to just talk about another, basketball thing, that I feel like it's been overlooked.
Yeah.
The media has been going crazy over Bronny.
Hmm.
Deservedly so. I think we talked about this on our last podcast if Bronny was going to get drafted to the Lakers. So congratulations on Bronny on actually, fulfilling the prophecy and getting drafted. So, congrats to him and congrats to the story that it is on Bronny. But he did get drafted in the second round.
Yeah.
And I would just like to kind of just point out that this guy Dalton Connect. I just feel really bad for this guy. This guy was
Yeah.
a top 20 pick in the NBA draft. Granted, this draft wasn't as like, crazy, power wise, like it wasn't like saturated with a bunch of great players as maybe
Hmm.
years past drafts have been.
Hmm.
But this guy still was a top 17 pick and he should get his flowers. And I feel like it has just been completely overshadowed by Bronny, which you knew no matter who they were going to pick beforehand was going to get overshadowed. But I
Yeah.
just feel so bad for this guy, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like I go on Sports Center, they show Lakers highlights or like, they're showing like the Lakers highlights for Bronny,
Yeah.
and not one is of, oh, hey, also here's a first look at, Dalton Connect playing for the Lakers.
Yeah.
Haven't seen one video about that. And then when the press conference, I literally saw Dalton Connect sitting there next to Bronny, and they were asking Bronny every single question,
No, obviously, yeah, no,
and not
I,
this guy.
yeah, no, I feel bad for the guy too because obviously the big storyline is like you're LeBron James Jr.'s son. I remember an old
Yeah.
article of Bronny in I think it was maybe high school or something, and he said like, "Oh, I don't want to be number 6 because I don't want people to know like I'm LeBron James Jr.'s son." Or LeBron James's son. And it's like, oh yeah, here's LeBron James Jr., number 10. Like, your name is LeBron James Jr. But anyway, yeah, no, I feel bad for the other pick too because he definitely I think has more talent at least right now than Bronny, a little more talent wise.
Yeah.
But the storylines are just kind of crazy. Like I saw a notification the other day that Bronny was out of like the second G League summer league or the summer league game of the year with like an ankle injury, and I'm going,
Uh,
I don't care if anyone else. No one cares if anyone else is missing their second game, in
in
the
the
summer
G
league.
League.
But I'm
Yeah.
getting I'm getting 6 notifications that he's missing because of ankle soreness. I really don't care enough. Like the media is gonna make me hate this guy, and I want him to succeed. But
Me too. I
it's
want him to be a good player. Like, realistically, is he going to be the best player we've ever seen, better than LeBron James?
yeah,
No,
yeah,
because just what we've seen up to this point now, can things change? Could somebody hit a growth spurt? Can, he
yeah,
end up like, playing up to that potential?
yeah.
It's obviously possible. But
Hmm.
if the guy's a good freaking player in the league, nobody's gonna like, bat a blind eye. It's like, oh, makes sense. LeBron's kid. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
No, exactly. And I felt like such like a grandpa the other day when I was watching him and Dalton Connect walk into their press conference because like I don't know if you saw this, but like Dalton Connect's wearing like a white button down and like dress pants, dress shoes. Looks nice,
Yeah.
presentable. What you taught. And then Bronny walks in a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and sunglasses. And I'm going, all right, Hollywood, like let's relax a little bit. All right. I
And
know
you know
you're
what's
saying you don't want to be LeBron James Jr.'s son, or I mean, this was a while ago, but you're saying, you got all this media attention. You're taught, dress nice, you know?
you know what's crazy too? That sweatshirt and probably sweatpants was probably more money than the guy's
Oh,
button downs and
100%. Yeah,
stuff
no,
he wore.
100%. Yeah, no, that's actually, that's a fair
And
point.
and that's what is so ridiculous is like, because listen, man, I'm not showing up to a job interview in a sweatpants and
Yeah,
sweatshorts,
yeah,
or a sweatshirt and sweatpants. Like, that's just ridiculous. You get drafted, you show up and you got to show a good impression. I don't
yeah,
care if you've been in
yeah,
the facility
yeah,
since you were, a toddler.
yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, no,
Doesn't
it's like
matter.
no, that's what we were always taught growing up. It's like, hey, first impression is everything. Wear something nice, even if you wore jeans and a t-shirt. That's a little better than when you walk in sweatpants and sweatshirts. That granted probably worth $600 each, but then the sunglasses on too. I'm going, are you kidding me? And it's like you said, everyone's walking. The GM of the team, the coach, everyone's walking with Bronny right around Bronny, and they pull out the
Nobody's looking
draft
at this
picks.
guy.
He's walking in by himself while the whole crowd's walking in next to Bronny, going, the other kid has a better impact, a better chance of making a bigger impact first.
100%. He's gonna probably make the starting lineup, or not the starting lineup, but he's
Yeah,
gonna make the starting roster.
I think he could. I think he could come off the bench if I know correctly. I mean, I think they could have some depth.
Bronny, I don't think he has even a shot. Like, I think they've already said that he's gonna start in the G League.
Yeah, and I don't expect to see him up at all this season, which makes sense because he's so young,
He's so
and he's still
young.
developing.
He doesn't have like the same like amount of experience as like these other guys who come into the league do. Like,
Hmm.
Zion started, and like this is what I'm going to like equate it to, right? Zion, who was the fucking top player in his like draft class, right? When first overall, he
Yeah,
had to go to Duke and play every game at Duke. He had to start every game at Duke just before he got drafted because
yeah,
they got rid of the, getting drafted before, like you have to have at least
yeah,
one
yeah,
year
yeah,
in college or professional before you get drafted, right?
yeah,
So now Bronny, he had a heart problem. This time last year, he went into cardiac arrest. He
yeah,
had open heart surgery, so he would be okay. He didn't play the majority of the fall league. He didn't play most of the regular like college
Yeah.
league last year season. He was came off the bench halfway through the season. He
Yeah.
probably didn't start any games, and
Yeah.
then he gets drafted, which again, like there's no knock on you. You had medical problems. Take another year, become that top dog at the
Yeah.
college level,
Oh
so that
yeah.
this way you have a little bit more respect on your name when you come into the league.
Yeah. No.
I don't know.
No, it's a fair point because I mean the storylines are going to be all over the place. I mean they already love posting any little thing LeBron does. I saw LeBron was warming up before a practice with the U.S. Olympics team,
Yep.
and they're like, "Oh, LeBron James practicing and stretching and watching Bronny in his summer league game." I'm going,
I saw that same video. I saw that same
dude,
video.
I
I was like,
don't.
I don't care. I don't
Dad watch
care.
his son play basketball. Cool. He's being a
Wow.
good dad.
Good dad.
Congratulations. Yeah, like I
It's not
just
like
didn't
he's
care
missed
enough.
90% of this guy's life because he's been away, either
Yeah.
at the Olympic trials, he's been on the road. Like
Yeah, exactly. I just don't. The media makes me hate players and makes everyone just meme players. It's like, can you just relax a little bit?
my favorite thing I think about the whole uh thing about him getting drafted to the Lakers is like this guy also can't be an NBA rookie. Like he's not going to be your average NBA rookie.
No.
He's going to go on the road and the like his teammates gonna be like, "Yo, Bronny, come over here. We got a table at the strip club. We got some strippers.
Yeah.
Like, come on through." And then the guy who's gonna be sitting at the head table when his teammates say that, it's gonna be like LeBron, like sitting there on his like throne in the strip club, and he's gonna be like, "Yo, Bronny, what you doing over here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go back to your hotel. You got a game in the morning." Like what? Like the
No.
guy's not gonna be able to enjoy himself because his dad's there the whole time. Which I get it. Yo, his dad's probably one of the cooler dads you have because
Probably.
he's still a kid. He's
Yeah, I
40
saw.
years
Yeah, when
old.
I saw
You know?
after Bronny's press conference, I saw them do their little handshake and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
a pretty cool dad and son moment. But honestly, now that I just thought about that, how do you feel about Bronny choosing number 9 and his dad
So
being number 6?
you know what's funny is when you were talking about it, I thought it was really funny because he's going back to being six LeBron. And I thought it was funny that you said that because um he was like, "Yeah, I don't want to be anything like him." All he did was he took the six and he flipped it upside down.
Yeah, well, one that, but picture those two taking pictures next to each other. They're just number 69. I mean, the kid in me just he could have picked any other number really, but you and your dad picking a great
Think
number
about that.
combination there. He had numbers to choose from, and
Did you see the reasoning why he picked nine though?
oh no, I didn't. I know it wasn't the
Apparently,
reason I just said.
apparently it was a tribute to Juice World.
Oh,
Which again, R.I.P. Juice World, love your music, dude. What does that have anything to do with basketball and LeBron James or Bronny James? What does that have to do with anything? What?
dude, I don't know.
I don't understand it. You know what? They probably just did it for the memes for the 6 and the 9. You're right. That's why they did it.
Maybe I like my reasoning better.
I really like your reasoning.
Yeah, but I just thought that was odd. It's going to be cool if they ever get the chance to play together, if Brownie gets called up. But we'll be keeping an eye on it, paying attention to it on this podcast.
Yeah, the two-man podcast will be following it closely. And you know what, Dalton Connect? I am sorry for you, man. And you know, if I get a jersey, it's
It's
still gonna be
Dalton.
Bronny's first. I'm not even gonna lie. Sorry. But 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 to continue talking about basketball, Tyler just touched upon it. LeBron was watching his son play while he's stretching for the Olympics. The Olympics is right around the corner. I think we
Hmm.
just started the trials, so that means the actual games should be starting,
Yeah,
the next couple of weeks or so.
yeah,
So I'm very excited. I think the Olympics is always a cool thing. This team we were talking about it before is just absolutely stacked.
yeah.
Tyler, what's your opinion on it? The Olympics is always a fun time. I always end up watching sports that I don't give a crap about the
Oh
whole
yeah,
year,
oh
but
yeah,
then they throw it on the Olympics, and then next thing I know, I'm the next Michael Phelps. I'm in the pool. I'm like,
yeah. Or you're just watching. Yeah, you're watching these random things. I know it's in like you watch like curling and Winter Olympics and stuff like that, and you're like, I could do this. I could
yeah, I can do
stuff like
this.
this. You're
I
like,
can do this all day.
I could be in the Olympics. How are these guys
Yeah.
in the Olympics? But yeah, the Olympics are really cool. But just to look at the men's basketball team to begin with, because that's the only thing I've been paying attention to so far since the
Me
games
too.
haven't started yet. Just seeing all these guys walk into practice, taking team pictures together, and actually being on the same court. I mean, it's exciting. The guys like LeBron, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, getting to play together. I know Tatum's coming off his NBA championship. He joined the team. Seeing all these guys, just like, guys that are going to go down as legends of our generation,
Oh, legends.
getting to team up is really just great to see. I mean, in years past, like Team USA just hasn't been doing so great because so many guys don't say yes to playing on the Olympic team. But I think the last couple of years, them losing some Olympic games is kind of embarrassing when you have so much
Yeah.
talent. So, in years past, you would have Kobe and Carmelo Anthony and all those guys recruit guys to the team. Obviously, RIP Kobe and Melo has retired since, so those guys don't play anymore. But now you have guys like, for Kevin Durant and LeBron and Steph to kind of come out and say, "Hey, listen, we're playing." And
Yeah.
you're the top of the top at the end of your careers. And for you to say you're playing, everyone else is like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll play. I'll represent my country because that's the coolest honor. And
Coolest honor
if
ever.
I think they should. Upsets have happened, and to be able to probably capture a gold medal, that's a lot of things. At the end of the day, when you're retired and you look at if you make the Hall of Fame, your plaque, it's like, hey, 4-time NBA champion, awesome. 4-time MVP, so cool. Like this guy was at the top, but then you're like, one-time gold medalist, you're like, oh shit, like because that's every
That
4 years.
cool, dude.
You don't get the chance to play in the Olympics a lot, so I think it's great that everyone's doing it.
I thought it was so cool too that it's the first time Steph and LeBron are playing together.
Yeah, that's the coolest part of it too. That's the coolest part. And you got guys like that. You got like Anthony Edwards, the young star. We talked a little bit about him. He's good.
Yeah.
Him saying he's the number one option, he's out of his mind.
No, he's funny too, and like I think he does it a little bit for clickbait.
Yeah, of
But
course.
um, honestly though, I think he's the best overall player on that team. Um, he's like being young, he's good at defense, he's a good scorer. But I understand. I think the starting lineup against Canada the other day, which we'll talk about Canada in a second, low key has a squad.
Yeah.
But like against Canada, I think it was I wrote it down right here. It was LeBron. Um, yeah, it was the starting five was LeBron, Devin Booker, Curry, Drew Holiday, and Embiid. That was the starting five.
Well,
And like obviously it's gonna change. They put they were very guard heavy because they thought it matched up well against Canada.
mm,
But even like I saw the projected starting lineup is gonna be like LeBron, Booker, Curry, AD, and Embiid.
yeah.
Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and
Just ridiculous.
just having a 4-5 of like AD and Embiid too is already just crazy enough. LeBron at anything that isn't a 4-5 is
Yeah.
also just like crazy. And yeah, the team, I know other teams we were talking about have NBA talent on them, some more than others. We talked about Canada, they had their exhibition game against them today. Which I don't know if you saw. Joel Embiid fouled out. What a bum.
What a bum.
Stinks. Fouling
Can
out.
we talk about how that guy is even on the fucking team?
Yeah, that's a ring chaser if I've ever seen one myself. That
This
is
guy is
crazy.
not U.S. citizen. Like, I mean, I think he's a U.S. citizen
He is a
now,
U.S. citizen,
but
yeah.
this guy did not come from the United States, and he's
No.
playing on the team. Which, granted, like the United States is made out of a bunch of immigrants, but the fact that he is literally playing, like, dude, like, I was just so pissed. I was like, listen, I understand, I get it, but like,
I'm not
he's just
trying
ring
to.
chasing.
I'm not trying to take away anything about his hard work coming over here, or anything like that. But when you grow up most of your life in one country, people love to take that. You don't see Giannis playing with us. Giannis
Yeah,
plays
no.
on Greece all the time, where he is probably the only player who knows how to play basketball. There's some other talent on the team. Don't
Yeah.
come after me. But, that guy, I saw a video recently of him, I think from last Olympics, like 4 years ago. He was crying because Greece won, I think, their first round playing game
Ever.
or
Yeah.
something, and it was like their first win like ever for basketball in Greece
Yeah.
history. So it's like to get that moment is cool. No, Greece is never gonna win the medal, the gold medal,
Nah.
but he doesn't care. But
Yeah, he's
you got Embiid. He's like, yeah, I love the United States of America. Not saying he doesn't, but you're like, I've lived here my whole life. I'm playing on USA. It's like, dude, I that's crazy. That's crazy.
I mean, granted, I guess he has been here for like over 10 years now, probably.
Yeah, I'm not trying to take
So
away from the fact that he wants to play with us. Listen,
I just think it's crazy.
he's gonna be
Crazy.
great for that team. But if you looked at it from like France's point of view, it's like, come on, man, we could have used you for a
We're
game
gonna
or two.
use you.
But yeah, that is a crazy point too. But he also fouled out today in an exhibition game, which is just how do you do? I've seen him in practice. He's trying to foul bait and everything. It's like, bro, you don't
Yeah.
practice against like college kids. Come on now.
Let's talk about the college kid though. The one college kid that's on this team.
Yeah,
We got Cooper Flag, man.
yeah,
Dude, that's like a great story, and he's killing it. All these NBA guys are like, dude, this guy's the real deal.
yeah. To be able to show off your talent and kind of put it next to the best of the best to see where you are, and you're still in college and learn some
He's
things from
17,
that.
dude. He's
Yeah,
17.
it's
He's not even 18. He's not even legal yet.
Jeez, yeah, so that's incredible. I was wishing he went to UConn. I get he went to Duke. Understandable.
Yeah, yeah.
So I hope he doesn't do well there because I've never liked Duke. But nothing against him. I do hope he does well because yeah, he's been killing it. Like you just said, all the NBA stars are saying he's been playing well. And I mean the knowledge, the skill set he's going to gain from this. I mean he's going to be scary to look out if he can put it all together. So
Oh yeah.
it's great for him. So I'm excited to see, once these Olympics get going, I'll definitely be watching the NBA games, but I'm just looking forward to all the Olympics because I've never been more patriotic
Yeah,
until
man, dude.
seeing USA in some of these games I've never heard of.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. I was honestly like just looking at some of the events that
Mhm.
they have like going on. Like we got archery, man. Dude, that's sick.
Awesome.
Do you know they have handball?
Dude,
They
that
got
what?
handball.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's gonna be sick. That's gonna be one of the events where I'm like, why? How can we not be in that?
How can I not
How
be
are
in
we not
this?
Olympians right now?
Like, and then also too, um, freaking beach volleyball. Like, I
Fire,
think that is like my favorite like
dude.
sport to watch.
Oh yeah,
Because like volleyball is just so electric, but like the 2v2 like Olympic like games that they play, the beach
yeah,
volleyball just goes so crazy.
yeah. It's
Um,
nuts.
Obviously we're talking about swimming is another great one. I
Yeah,
didn't know they had karate. Didn't know
I
that.
I didn't know
Didn't
that
know that.
either, but that's kind of cool.
Yeah, they have water polo, which I
Fire,
love
fire,
watching that one.
dude. Those
That
guys are
one
crazy.
that one is insane. Like that's
Yeah,
like probably like the craziest sport to watch during the
yeah.
Olympics because
Oh
I
yeah.
have no idea what the hell is going on, but these guys are
No.
treading water
Oh
and
yeah.
like freaking gunning the ball like it's like European handball when we used to play
Yeah.
in you know in gym class. It goes crazy.
Yeah.
It goes
No.
crazy.
All these sports, like these athletes are Olympians for a reason. Because some of these, not that all the activities aren't hard, but some are a lot harder endurance wise, physically wise than others.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be
And
fun. I get excited for the Olympics every year.
yeah, I know I'm a little late to this too. I was talking to you about this beforehand. Simone Biles, who is probably the most popular women's athlete, United States women's athlete probably in the world right now.
Yeah, she's
She
up there.
posted a video during her trials. She jumped 12 feet in the air.
Yeah.
I'm gonna clip this after.
Yeah.
Do you know how tall she is?
I do not. She's short. I know that.
She's 4'8", and
Four
this
eight.
girl jumped high as a basketball hoop.
Dude, that's crazy. Yeah, you sent me the video right before we started recording. I couldn't believe it. I watched it
In
like
a
10
like a
times.
back handspring thing and then like lands and just goes, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, no. And
Poses.
yeah,
I did that. Curtsy.
she's so good. Anyone that does like those floor routines or anything else in the gymnastics world, the beams, if you're on the high bars, stuff like that, like they're talented. They're talented, and
Goes crazy,
she's
dude.
like the top of the sport, and honestly, good for her too. Because I remember what was it, last Olympics? She kind of dropped out. She was having some mental, just some mental
Mental
health
issues, yeah.
issues. Yeah, she was having some mental health issues. So good for her to persevere, work her way back. Slowly but
Yeah, man.
surely, and get back to the biggest stage of it all. So I'll be doubly rooting for her on that front too. Not only because
Yeah.
she's from the United States, but because she's persevering.
USA, USA, USA.
Dude,
Nah, I
that's gonna
can't
be
wait,
me
man.
for the next 2 weeks once it starts, or 3 weeks, however long it is.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, dude! It's gonna be electric,
Yeah.
absolutely electric.
Yeah, no,
Can't wait.
Summer Olympics are going to be great. I don't know if you've been paying attention too. Apparently, the river in London, or yeah, London,
Paris.
Paris,
It's in
where they're
Paris.
supposed to
Yep.
be doing the water sports, like I guess rowing, or I don't think it's every swimming sport, like like freestyle or whatnot.
Yeah.
But apparently, it's like it's contaminated and is
Oh,
not allowed, like people haven't swam in it in like hundreds of years or something, and they've been trying to, they spend billions of dollars like trying to clean the water, and every time like the ambassador of the city and like the committee keeps saying like, hey, we'll show you it's safe, we'll do a swimming event, we'll swim in it ourselves, but every single time they keep having to push it back 2 weeks because it's still brown and disgusting. So I think the next one, if I'm not mistaken, is like the 15th, which is like right before the event began. But there's been this one girl on TikTok following like every day, and she's posting like updates of it. I mean, you're not allowed to go in this. You're gonna get sick. No one, I don't know what they're gonna do. They don't have a backup plan if they can't use this river for these events.
they're just gonna
So
have to cancel the events that need to be held in there.
I guess so. One of the protests they had, because apparently the people in the city aren't happy that they're only spending money on it now that the Olympics are coming, and said that they have no plans to continue working on it after the Olympics. I don't know if you saw, one of their protests was going to be, when they were originally was supposed to come, was say like June 25th. June 25th, they wanted everybody to go to the river and poop in it so that it continued to get dirty. That was their big protest idea. And they had this whole chart timing everything, saying like, hey, if you poop in it at say 9 a.m., it will reach where the event is by when the event starts. So they had this whole protest ready. I don't think it happened because they canceled the swimming event
The swimming event.
and they pushed it to like the beginning of July, but then she also just said that they pushed it back again. So I don't know what's going to happen with this, but it's going to
That's
be
so crazy.
just a fun little side story to pay attention to as we approach the Olympics.
Dude, people would get arrested for that.
Oh yeah, 100%. You can't
That'd
poop
be
in a river,
crazy.
dude.
That'd be so funny.
Dude, you can't. Also, the river and like the distance between the river and like at least the where she was showing and like the wall is like 20 feet. So there's no like discreet way of doing it. You have to hunch over.
You have to
Yeah.
hunch over and drop your bu-
Yeah,
What if you
exactly.
what if they do the biz somewhere else and then just throw it in?
Oh, I guess you could do that. I didn't even think about that. That makes sense. That's probably a better
I like
idea.
the other way though. I like your other thought though, the other thought process.
Yeah, because then you have to travel with it in like a bag. At that point, it's like that's a lot. That's a lot to do that, man. I don't know. I don't know. Then you have to
It's a lot.
There's too much into this. I can't go
Too
down this
much going
rabbit
on.
hole. I
Too
can't go
much
down this rabbit
going
hole.
on.
Yeah, but yeah. Summer Olympics coming up. Excited for that.
Yep, excited. Can't wait. We'll be watching.
Exactly. And that kind of moves us to our game, which kind of has to do with the summer a little bit, in my mind, and our
Nice.
last topic of the podcast.
Okay.
I have 7 items, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7 items that
Oh.
I want you to just blindly rank 1 through 7.
Okay, I
Um,
love these. Let's go.
yeah, and it has to do with the summer in my eyes because the other day I luckily flagged down a Mr. Softy truck,
Me
which
too.
I was pretty pumped when I was home when I was on Long Island last weekend. I heard Mrs. Softy. I bolted it outside because I knew on this hot day, and with the weather being seemingly 95 degrees every day, I
Yeah,
felt
it's
like
crazy.
this was a perfect topic. So this will be, the best things to get from an ice cream truck.
Ooh.
And blind ranking them. Some of these I don't know if you ever had before, but hot day, you walk up to not really Mr. Softy because Mr. Softy's got his cone, but you walk up to like the other ice cream truck when they have
I know what you mean.
everything sweet, awesome. So first 1 through 7, the first item I got is a snow cone. Good old just
7.
regular snow cone. What'd you say?
7.
Are you out of your
7.
god?
7.
How would you give this a little thought for a
7.
second? You're out of your goddamn mind. That's crazy. You're not a big shaved ice kind of guy?
No, I am. I am. I think there's gonna be better things. So I'm going 7.
That's messed up. If anyone's wondering where that would be my 1. All right. We got that's crazy. We got firecracker ice pops. You know, the red, white,
Um,
and blue ice pops.
I'm gonna go 5.
That's a good one.
Nostalgia.
Can't
Nostalgia.
beat those. I just recently tried one of their firecracker or rocket pops, if you will, twisted teas. Delicious. Just a little
Oh, I
side
need to
note.
try one of those. Have not tried one of those yet.
Yeah. I have never, speaking of never trying, I've never tried one of these. I've heard a lot of people like them. Choco Taco
Yeah, I've never had one. It's
from the
going
ice cream
6.
truck.
It's going
Six?
6.
Yeah. When I was looking up, things people say they like a lot, it was a Choco Taco. I've never had. Looks all right. Never been a big chocolate gal.
Yeah, I mean, I like chocolate, but I don't know. Something about like chocolate and taco just does not sit well for me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. My next one, I have your preference, but either a vanilla or chocolate cone, which whatever sprinkles you'd like.
2.
Two?
2.
What would
And it
it
would
be?
be a
What's your go-to order? Yeah.
vanilla rainbow sprinkles.
That's my guy, man. That's my
The
guy.
go-to. It's the go-to.
That's what I got the other day, man. That's the way to do it.
I've been getting the Oreo crumbles on it recently. Oh, that shit goes fire too.
Yeah, no, I try not to go away from the classics, but that does sound delicious. I'm gonna have to
It's
try
really
that
good.
next time.
Really good.
Damn. I'm gonna hope I hear an ice cream truck today now. All
Me
right.
too.
Next, I have an ice cream sandwich. Just a regular ice
Like the
cream.
regular like brown and white one.
Yes.
I'm gonna go 4.
Okay.
So what do I got?
You have
1
one
and
and
3
three still
left.
open.
All right, all right. I like where this is going.
Two more. One and three still open. Hopefully, now I'm starting to get nervous that your one is still here. But next, I'm going to Chipwich, which is the ice cream sandwich with two cookies and vanilla ice cream in the middle,
Oh,
which can't go wrong, honestly, with either one.
oh, dude, I love
Chipwich is
me a
unbelievable,
Chipwich.
especially on the
Dude,
beach.
oh my God, yeah, especially, dude. Oh my God, bro. I love a Chipwich. All right. So now my thing is like I don't know what the last one is gonna be
Hmm.
because uh because this could easily go number 1 for me.
Hmm.
But I don't know if I hold out what the last thing is that you're thinking in your
Yeah, I don't
mind.
know what you're looking for here, but
All right, I'm putting it number 1. Screw it. I'm putting it number
it's
1.
it's the safe option to go.
It's a
It's
safe
a safe way
option.
to go
I
because
think those 1 and 2 right there, like are like it's better than MJ and LeBron 1-2. It's tough. It's tough.
this would be a
So
good. This would honestly be my 1-2 as well. This is a good one too.
all right, so that yeah. So all right, Chipwich, Rainbow Sprinkles. What's my 3 gonna be, Tyler? What did
So
I miss?
your three is, which is another great spot for it, probably in your opinion, different variations of this particular item. But the one I wrote down, it could be any one you personally like. I said the Spider-Man pop.
Oh,
When they either have, I've seen like Bugs Bunny, Looney Tunes, Spider-Man's, the one with the gumballs in it. That's what I had as
yes.
that ice
You know
pop.
what? I'm very happy I took Chipwich 1 because I would not have sat happy with having that at number 1.
Yeah.
That at number 3 though is a solid pick, and I will put it there at number
Yeah,
3.
no, a solid list all around, honestly, and it's making me crave all these items right now.
Oh, dude,
What were you looking for? What were you hoping it like kind of wasn't?
I thought you were gonna say milkshake.
Oh, I didn't really think about that. I never put two and two. I never really think
I
about
thought you were
milkshakes
gonna
on ice cream.
I thought you were gonna say milkshake, because I know a lot of people like to get milkshakes from Mr. Softy, and I think
Mm.
milkshake might be one of my favorite ways to consume ice cream.
It's an
So
yeah. I just never was a big milkshake guy growing up, so I never thought about that for an ice cream
yeah,
truck.
I
But
guess your milkshakes didn't bring all the boys to the yard.
no, I can't say they did. It was not my yard that they were coming to. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Well, dude, that was a fun game. I'm very sorry for you about your snow cone,
Unbelievable.
but
Yeah, I'll just read it back real quick. You have your 1 through 7. You have your Chipwich. You personally, vanilla cone with rainbow sprinkles, a Spider-Man pop, could be any pop, an ice cream sandwich, firecracker, choco taco, and a snow cone, which I like a lot of this list. Snow cone being so low is pretty upsetting in my
where would you have
opinion.
put snow cone? Where would you put snow cone?
I probably would have overrated it. I probably would, if you said snow cone, I probably would have said like two.
Really?
I love snow cones. I'm a big snow cone proponent. They're so
I
delicious.
mean, listen, man, snow cones are good, but like at the end of the day, a snow cone just tastes like flavored ice.
No, it does. It does. I don't know what it is. I've just always been a fan of snow cones and
They're
ices.
refreshing. They're
They are.
refreshing, man. You need a pick me up. It's hot outside. They're
Yeah.
good. But I'm talking about like flavor wise, like I'm sorry. It's going number 7 for me. I'd
Yeah.
I think I've picked the Choco Taco before that. I haven't even tried it yet. Choco Taco.
See, that's gonna get you in trouble. That's gonna question this friendship right now if you say that again because that's messed up. That's messed up. We're gonna have to talk about that off air because that's kind of crazy. Oh man. Well, that is the last topic we have on this podcast. We hope you enjoyed. Let us know in the comments what you thought of Carl's list. Give us your list of what you think is your top 3 things to get off an ice cream truck. And yeah, just keep. Thanks again for continuing to watch. Keep commenting, keep subscribing, keep liking, and keep following the talks and letting us know what you think.
And buy some merch and buy some future merch that we forgot to talk about last week that we will talk about again.
Yes.
It's called Cowboy Revolution. Look out for it. Good stuff. Use the promo code 2man. We'll talk about it more. Bye.